Rufus. You guys all met Rufus, but he ran off, so who knows when he's coming back. But I wanted to recap yesterday's message. Rufus! Hello. Hi. You scared me. You startled me. Yeah, I wanted to tell you a little bit about last week. Yes? You wanted to tell me about last week? That is what I said, no? No, I know you said that. I was just curious, because I was here last week. Well, fine, and I will tell you what we're going to talk about today. Alright, let me get one thing straight, though. One, I didn't know you were going to be here. And two, your voice seems a little different. You don't need to look at them. I'm talking to you. No, just look at me. Just look at me. Just look at me. Just look at me. Well, I am a puppet, and therefore... Therefore what? I have no limitations. So no limitations, meaning what? Meaning I can say and talk how I want to talk. Alright, fine. Why don't you start us off then? But of course. So last week we talked about Shannon, Misha, and Benjamin. No, I don't think that's right. I think we talked about Shadrach. Okay, you knew that, but did... Oh, that little power supply isn't working. You knew about Shadrach, but did you want to talk... We already did that story. Yes, I'm recapping. Come on. I know you're recapping. I'm sorry. It's okay. You can recap. Go ahead. I'll step off. Get away. Okay. Sheesh. Hello, kids. It's nice to see you. Can everyone say hello?
Hello.
Hello? Maybe try... Hola! That's my favorite. Anyway, remember, Shannon, Mishaku, and Benjanai. It's Shadrach! Mishak and the Benjamin. I get it. Come on, you're so crazy. Anyway, remember how God protected them from the fire and kept them safe? And they didn't get burned, they didn't get hurt. Even their clothes were safe from the fire. Do you remember that they were safe from the fire? No, I remember that. It was a really cool story about the three men that went into the fire and God kept them from getting burned. Yes, that is what I just said. My goodness, do you listen? Anyway, what is tonight's story? Well, thank you for the recap. That was super informative and super great. So, yes, last week you can watch them. Now I want to watch you. Okay. No, don't do that now. Rufus, no. Get me out here. I want your ear. Get me out here. I got him. So anyway, last week we discussed Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Super cool story, how God kept them safe. And I wanted to kind of keep the same theme going. And actually, I wanted to tell you of a really cool Bible verse in Psalms, I believe 121, verse 7. Mommies and daddies can look at that one. But it says, the Lord will keep you safe from every kind of harm. He will watch over your life. And that's such a cool verse because it went along with the Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego story, where God kept them safe. And it's going to go pretty well again with our story tonight. And our story tonight is about Daniel and Goliath. Oh, close.
That's
No.
David and Goliath.
It's actually going to be Daniel and the lion's den. The Goliath story, that was David.
Yes.
Not Daniel. So tonight we're going to talk about Daniel and the lion's den. Okay, let's just get on with it. Okay. Sheesh to you, Rufus. You're a little feisty today. Yes, I had a chalupa and it was yummy.
Chalupa?
Alright, well, good. glad you're full. You're ready to talk about the story. We're ready to go into, what, Daniel and the big monster? No, the lion's den. Are they really scary lions? Oh, they are super scary, super hungry lions. Do you want me to tell the story? Do you guys want me to tell the story? Because I'm going to tell the story. Or,
Yeah. Yes.
yeah? Okay, I'll tell the story. So, it starts all the way back again. There was a king, King Darius of Babylon. You not going to say anything? No, I'm not talking. Okay, well, sometimes you interrupt me. I don't know. I don't know when you're going to talk. I'm not talking now. Okay, well, you did. Got him. I got him. All right, so we're learning about King Darius. He was another king of Babylon. And he had Daniel, this man Daniel, as his advisor. Yeah? Yeah, he had him as his advisor. So this king had an advisor and his name was Daniel. And Daniel would give the king advice and suggestions and ways about ruling Babylon and helping him through all these things. And the king really, really respected this man Daniel. Daniel was so respected by the king. Yeah, he was. He was so respected, the king looked to him for anything and everything, and it was one of his advisors. But there were people, dogs? No, not dogs. Not dogs. There were other men that worked for the king that didn't like Daniel, didn't like what he was doing, didn't like that he got the attention from the king, and just didn't like the things that he was doing. Why? You say why? Yes. Okay. I didn't know. But I don't know why. I'm not exactly sure why, but I can tell you that the king knew that Daniel was a godly man. He knew that Daniel prayed to God. Just like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, Daniel did the same. He prayed to God. And everybody else didn't. And so the king knew this. He was okay with it. And he still trusted and respected everything that Daniel said. Yes? Yeah. So then when Daniel gave him chocolate or water, did he eat it? Yeah. I mean, I would assume so. If someone gave you chocolate, would you eat it? Maybe. Okay. Maybe. Well, maybe it was something like that. So, anyway. Can I finish? Yes. Thank you. So, anyway, Daniel gave him advice, gave him suggestions, and the king would listen and respect it and follow through it and do those things. But all those men that didn't like him tried to think of ways to get rid of him. How could they get rid of Daniel and get him out of the picture completely? So they came up with this really crazy plan. They decided to convince the king to make a law. A law? Yes, a law. What is a law? What is a law? Well, a law is something that someone would put in place that would require everyone who is under that to do what the law says. So if it says, you shall not have your water in a silver bowl. Wait, do you like silver bowls? No, I just wanted the effect of intensity. Okay, but yeah, so if he doesn't want you to have water in a silver bowl, then you can't have water in a silver bowl. Okay, I get it. Alright, so yes, he made this law. That was what a law was. So anyway, these guys wanted to convince the king to make a law that forbid them from praying to any god. They were not allowed to pray to those gods, to Daniel's God, any other god. And if they broke that rule, if they broke the law, like nowadays, if you break the law, you would get arrested and might go to jail or something like that, right? Yes. Okay, so here, if they broke the law, the rule was that if they broke it, they would be sent into a lion's den. Yeah. I am in shock. A lion's den? That is crazy. I know. So can you imagine? You break the law. One, you don't want to anyway. You don't want to break the law. And this rule says you can't pray to God. So, like, for me, that wouldn't work. I would pray to God. I would break. I would love to think that I would. But if there was a lion's den, if I prayed, I would be sent to a lion's den? Like Daniel? What are you saying? Well, that's what I'm getting to. So Daniel did not agree with this law whatsoever. So the king made the law. Daniel broke the law. Daniel said, well, you know what? I love God, and I'm going to continue to pray to God. So that's what Daniel did. Daniel broke the law. Daniel continued to trust and pray to his God which is our God. He knew that God knew what was right and what was best. But that was still breaking the law that the king had made. And so what did that mean? The king's guards and those men spied on Daniel. They caught him praying. Daniel was caught praying to God.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but maybe like he was probably in his own room, maybe, and someone peeked in the window, like
Okay,
these.
I can't see.
Daniel, are you praying? Are you talking to God? I see you, Daniel. I see you. Oh, I wasn't very sneaky when I have a hairball. Okay, yeah.
A
I'm glad you had a
hairball.
Let's go on. Okay. All right, good. We're good? Yes. Are we good? Yes. Are we good? Yes. You've asked me that already. I know. I'm just making sure. Okay. So anyway, Daniel
just paused.
prayed to God anyway. These men spied on him through the window, like this. Yes, just like that. And saw them, told the king that Daniel broke the law. Yeah. Now the king knows that his well-respected advisor, Daniel...
Need it.
Just keep it close. Okay. Nope. There we go. Perfect. His well-respected advisor, Daniel, had broken the law. He broke the law and he prayed to God anyway. So he had to be punished. And the punishment was what? Abednego. No, not Abednego. That was the story from last week. The punishment was to be thrown into a den of lions.
Watch it.
Yeah. No, not now. No. So anyway, he broke the law. The king knew that he broke the law. The guards told the king. The king had to follow through. It was a law. The law is the law. You have to follow it. So what do you think the king did? Did you think the king just said, "Oh, that's fine"? No, that's right. He did not. The king followed through. He was sad, but he ordered Daniel to be thrown into the lion's den. So Daniel was thrown into this pit of these hungry, starving lions that if any meat was in front of them, they would eat it, no matter what. Are you shaking again? Yes. Okay, but you don't. Yeah, it gets crazy because now he's got these hungry lions. Okay. Yes. He's got these hungry lions that want to eat him. He's thrown into the pit and he's left there overnight. Yeah, the king goes back home. He's so nervous. The king is restless because remember, the king liked Daniel. He was so nervous. He was restless. He couldn't sleep. All he could think about was, "Oh my goodness, is Daniel okay?" And I remember the king, one of the words is the king said to Daniel when he threw him in there, "Pray to your God that he'll save you." So what do you think Daniel did? Do you think he just kind of sat there like, "Well, you know what, I like lions"? I don't think so. No, I don't think so either. I think that Daniel was praying constantly. Constantly. And you want to know something really cool? I think God heard his prayer. Because all night the king couldn't sleep, couldn't think about anything else, woke up in the morning, he runs out to the lion's den where Daniel was being kept. Yeah, he runs out. It was can you imagine, like, oh my gosh, your favorite person is going to probably be eaten. And you want to make sure that if he is, you know about it. And if he isn't, you know about it, right? That was confusing.
There you go.
Hear me out. So, Daniel is in the lion's den overnight with hungry, starving lions. They're within feet.
5 minutes and 24 seconds.
The king wakes up or gets out of bed, so excited, so nervous and scared that Daniel was actually eaten, runs out, shouts in, "Hey, Daniel! Can I be Daniel? Yeah, you can be Daniel. Hey, Daniel! Yes!" Can you imagine the king's surprise when Daniel responds back and says, "What?" He was probably like shocked, like, "Oh my gosh, Daniel is in there." So anyway, Daniel responds and says, "God has sent me an angel," and he shut the lion's mouth. So what that means is you've got 3 hungry lions that want to eat you.
No.
Well, right before they get hungry and eat you, God sent an angel in, and that angel just does what I'm doing to you right now. What? What is this that you're doing? I'm holding your mouth shut. Now let's pretend you wanted to eat me. I do. I want to nibble your ear. All right, well that's fair. You can nibble my ear later. No, I said later. Later. Okay. So these hungry lions, the angel came in and held their mouth shut. Look, can you open your mouth? You what? I cannot. Yeah. So that's what he did. The angel came in and shut all of the lions' mouths where they could not hurt Daniel. And so Daniel came out of that lion's den unharmed, unscathed. Like there's not a single bite on him, no drool, no slobber. These lions did not eat him. Because why? Why do you think? Why do you kids think? Why didn't they eat Daniel?
Because the angels.
It's because he trusted God and he prayed to God. That's right. He prayed to God and God kept him safe. What was that verse we talked about? The Lord will keep you safe from every kind of harm. He will watch over your life. That is very deep. I know. I know. It is such a cool story. So we had Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego that get saved from a fiery pit. And then we had Daniel, who's in a lion's den with hungry, starving lions. He's thrown in there, assumed to be eaten, and God sends an angel and saves him. That is such a good story. I know. I can't imagine being in that room. So you can just think of the king thinking, oh my gosh, I've just sent this man to die, and now he comes out, and an angel saved him. His God saved him. So you can bet that was just talked about all across the land, that, my goodness, Daniel saved from the lion's den, and that's just amazing. Amazing story. I love it. Daniel and the lions, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. 2 cool stories where God comes through and saves these men from harm. It's because they trusted God. It's such a good story. So, did you enjoy that one? It wasn't as fun of names. Daniel's pretty easy to say. And actually, there's a Daniel out there. Can you say hi, Daniel? Hola, Daniel. Don't get eaten by lions. It's not very good. Not very good at all.
2 minutes.
It's not good, man. You done? Yes. Okay. So, anyway, I hope you enjoyed tonight's story. Tonight's story, the Daniel and the Lion's Den, is such an amazing story again, where God just comes through for him again. When everything else says that you're going to be eaten and hurt, he says, nope, I got you. And saves you. So it's really cool that we know we can trust in God. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed tonight's story with Daniel and the Den of the Lions and Rufus. Rufus was back and he was super excited to do it tonight. And what are you doing? Nothing. Okay. Anyway, thank you again so much. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's story, and we will see you next week. Do you want to close this out in prayer? No, you can. Are you sure? Yes.
I know.
You're not going to nibble on my ear again when I pray, are you? No, I won't do that. I won't do it. I will never do that. All right, fine. All right. So thank you, everybody. I'm going to close this in prayer, and then we will see you next week.
Just keep watching.
So I hope you guys have a great night. So much for being here with me and Rufus, and we will see you next week. So, but again,
no, I just have a feeling. I
just another one. Like this. Can you shut your eyes? Remember, I cannot. Okay. Rufus can't close them, but he can wiggle. So we're going to bow our heads, and we're going to say a quick prayer and thanking God. So thank you again. Dear Heavenly Father, God, we thank you so much for today. We thank you for the wonderful weather. We thank you for everything that you've done for us, God. We thank you for being able to trust you and trust you that you keep us safe from all those things, Lord. We just know that if we trust you, you've got our backs, and we thank you for that, Lord. We pray for sweet dreams tonight. We pray that you keep us safe, Lord. In your name we pray. Amen. Amen. You did it again. Hey, what? You got it in my face. You tried to eat me again. No, I would never do that. All right, say goodbye. Goodbye, everyone. I had a good time. I hope you did too. Goodbye. See you, everybody. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Okay, everybody. Say hi to Uncle Dale and
Hi, Uncle Dale. Hi, Uncle Dale.
and
Love
Rufus.
Your video. Hi, Rufus. Your voice looks kind of weird.
Okay. All right. Good job.